Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Supervisor Graciela Gonzalez here. Here she is. So we are going to celebrate and recognize one of our fabulous bus drivers tonight. So Graciela is here from the Transportation Department to recognize one of our amazing bus drivers. Come on. Okay.
I know, right? So I'm here for our Transportation Department. My name is Graciela. I am the Transportation Supervisor. We are here to recognize one of some new driver, hasn't been with us too long, started up in about spring of 2023. Started training. I know he was kind of hesitant a little bit, wanting to continue that training, and we're definitely glad that he did continue. You know, it can be kind of rough with rules and regulations and people management, and knowing that you're going to take a test in front of CHP can be very intimidating, but we're definitely glad that he stuck around. He is a very great asset to the team. Everybody's licensed staff, you know, co-workers. He's always willing to help, reach out to him, be like, hey, can you do this? Can we do that? And he's like, yeah, sure. Definitely started making some challenges. He's actually coming from still work right now, doing a field trip. So definitely dedication. As he's just done with an athletic trip and just came straight over here to, you know, so he can be recognized and let everybody know that that dedication is just kind of says it all right there, you know. He's still technically on the clock, so he needs to hurry up and get back to fuel. Right? I know. He's like, okay, go ahead. And I'm like, nope, you got to go. But we hired up on September 2023. You know, again, taking his challenges of field trip driver right now, and also helping us out with our seat room repairs, which is very challenging as that is as well. So, Mr. Leview, Mr. C. I definitely appreciate you as an employee of transportation for you sitting in the front.
Yeah.
Can I get a picture of the two of you? Thank you. Best smile. There you go. Thank you so much for doing the job. Oops, sorry.
Nice, guys.
Great job. Great job. Great job.
Awesome. Okay. Report some information. Blue Zone. Yeah, so thank you. We have been working with and partnering with Blue Zone Project in Yuba-Sutter. And in the audience is Jennifer Delovich and Marnie Sanders from Blue Zones, who are going to talk about the project that we've been working with them and the work that we do together collaboratively to improve the wellness of our students and staff. So I invite you to the podium, ladies.
Good evening, everybody. Again, Marnie Sanders. I'm the Executive Director of Blue Zones Project, Yuba-Sutter. Jennifer is going to be the main speaker tonight, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to send our thanks for just allowing us to come into the schools and work with you all. It's been a pleasure. It is Jen's passion to do this work, and I think you'll see it shine through as she shares some very important things that are going on in the schools. And there's some marvelous things that were even going on before we came along. So we do want to acknowledge that as well. But just as far as Blue Zones goes and the work that we're doing in the community, it goes beyond the work in the schools. We are also working in our restaurants, our grocery stores, and our work sites. We're involved with policy work in the area of built environment, helping to move towards a more walkable and bikeable community. We're working on tobacco policy. We want to see that be reduced in the community, and we're working on food policy, which is about creating access for all to healthy and fresh produce. And so it goes a lot deeper than just doing the school's work, but I think a lot of it just comes into great alignment. And our ultimate goal is that we are moving towards an environment where the healthy choice is the easier choice for all. And these are just some of the ways that we're going about doing that in the community. So once again, I just want to say thank you. And I will now turn it over to Jen to talk about what's going on in the schools.
So yeah, I am super excited to be here. And so people want to know, what does it mean to be a Blue Zones Project approved school? And basically on that, your handout there, the Blue zones are the areas where they live over 100 healthy years, and they all have 9 things in common to live over 100. And so in the schools that are Blue Zones Project approved, they have a lot of the Power 9 embedded into the school. And so the 6 schools that are Blue Zones Project approved so far are listed on your sheet. They are Andros Carperos, April Lane, Berry School, Bridge Street, Lindcrest Elementary School, and Park Avenue School. And so what I want to do is I want to just highlight some of the special things about each of the schools and why they have our Blue Zones Project approved. They all the schools have like their own special something about them that make them unique, but they all have things in common where they have that leadership at the top that are really open to new things, and they trust their people, and then you get into the schools and you can really see the heart of the schools, and with the parent liaisons and the counselors. And so I actually emailed all the principals. I let them know what I was going to share about their schools today, and they were really excited about that. The AK is, this is in no particular order, it's alphabetical actually. AK, Andros Carperos, they have, the cell phone free campus has really sparked engagement on campus. Some of the special things they have also is their web, which is the Where Everybody Belong leaders, and they do those intramural sports. They lead those intramural sports at lunch, which is just sparks that community engagement. They have they have the Friday Walk of Fames. If you haven't been there, gosh, you got to go to that. That's just amazing. Building that sense of community. They've got healthy fundraisers like the Color Run. They have community and family events like cultural nights and moving on, I know I don't have a lot of time here, but April Lane is another Blue Zones Project approved school, and some of their things they have that are really unique is they've got the bingo night, family nights, and they've got jogathons, a class soccer tournament that is really popular as a healthy way of incentivizing students, a principal's table for incentives, pencils for birthday recognitions, not just the cupcakes, but really encouraging the healthy options. Berry School, they've got the garden. I mean, that garden is amazing, right? And they do family events, community events. They have a welcoming cafeteria. And then Bridge Street School, they have family events as well, movie nights, their extravaganza. They do Read Across America. They bring in community partners for Read Across America, and the clothes closet they have there. They recognize birthdays in the cafeteria, and they have a pause store for the incentives, which is incredible as well. And then Lindcrest School, they have a monthly walk to school day, and they actually have it this Friday if you want to join them. And actually Lincoln School is doing walk to school days too, so they both have those on Friday if you want to join. Lindcrest School, they start at 7-11. And that is actually integrated into their AVID community participation goals. And they have healthy fundraisers like jogathons and the square dancing. I'm almost done here, but you got to recognize these schools. Park Avenue, the community engagement in that family resource center. They use the CalFresh nutrition education. They have a coffee with the principal, family nights. Walk to school days also has started there. They have a beautiful garden, and that's the parents are involved in, and the teachers and the and then, lastly, I want to point out some other schools that we're working with. Albert Powell is really open to the students there walk from Albert Powell to April Lane, and we do a lemon water tasting station. So there's a lot of nice engagement there. Gray Avenue School, we've Rethink Your Drink days. King Avenue, we're doing walking groups with the parents. Yuba City High School run their garden grants, and so did Berry School won the garden grants through Blue Zones. And then the one that makes me super excited is River Valley High School and Yuba City High School started a Blue Zone student club, and they are taking this on their own, and they have, one of the things they did is they wrote cards for the residents at Summer Estates, and they deliver the cards to the residents there, and they are just really owning this, and it's getting legs, of their own, and really teaching the Power 9 healthy habits of living longer. So also included there, I just want to point out there are some healthy ideas, healthy fundraiser ideas, healthy ways of celebrating birthdays. I just wanted to share that with you. And just again, as Marnie said, thank you for being open to this. And the schools here at Yuba City Unified, they doing really great things. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we do have comments from the public on items not on the agenda. Our board policy is that we give each speaker 3 minutes, or if it's a topic, we have 20 minutes for a particular topic. There are more than 20 minutes worth of comments. So I just wanted to know direction of the board if you guys would like to honor every single person with three minutes, or if you guys would like to limit it to the 20.
I think everybody should have an opportunity to speak.
I agree. Good. All right, sounds good. So can we go ahead and read?
I gotcha. Not appearing, right?
Yes.
The Brown Act, specifically Government Code Section 5495.422, provides that no action or discussion shall be taken on any item unless it is adequately described in a timely posted agenda. Accordingly, though the public may comment on matters within the board's jurisdiction that do not appear on the agenda, the board cannot respond to such comments without running the risk of deliberating or initiating discussion on topics not properly before the board. Given the prohibitions set forth in the Brown Act and the risk associated with responding to public comments, the board does not respond to the community's questions or comments. The board will respect the rights of the public to express their viewpoints on matters within the board's jurisdiction. However, comments that are defamatory or that violate the privacy rights of any student or individual may not be protected by law. The board shall not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of board meetings.
Thank you. All right, so the first speaker is Selena Andrade.
Not expecting that. My name is Selena Andrade. I'm a SDC teacher for grades 2 through 5 at King Avenue. And I actually want to speak on behalf of someone who is not here, who could not make it today. And this is for Sheridan Hartman. He is a learning center teacher at Gray Avenue. So she says, the first half of the year, we were short an education specialist. Currently, I am at 29 students on my caseload, and I may be getting 1 to 3 more, which would put me at 30 to 33 students. We are co-teaching, teach learning strategies, prepare, schedule, conduct IEP meetings, assist general education teachers by making sure they have IEP at classes, contact parents, communicate with admin school staff, assess students who need the WIAT, that's our assessment, write academic reports for eligibility evaluations, and much more. I work with my SPED team as well as service providers. I'm also working with YCIA, and I have a student on my caseload who attends the school. There are times where our days are interrupted due to poor student behavior, and there are times where we have to document behaviors through referrals. I also do check-in, check-outs with multiple students and will use my own money to help fund rewards. I hope this information was helpful in giving you some insight in the education specialist world. So I just present that. I think this is a really good example. It is the norm. It's becoming the norm here. And I just wanted to present that to you. We're really tired. We love what we do, but the love of what we do is not really enough fuel at this time to continue. I really would like us to consider maybe looking at these programs closely and seeing what are the things that our teachers need to continue to want to work here. It's no longer becoming a place where people want to work, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to find these teachers to fill these spots. I love King Avenue, I love Gray, I love all of these schools, and we're doing great stuff, but we're gonna start losing teachers unless we start addressing some of these concerns. Thank you.
Dana Piper.
Hi, I'm Dana Piper. I'm an education specialist for the resource at Riverbend Elementary School. For the longest time, I was the only education specialist for the resource in the elementary school for our section. When I first started, there were 38 students, which the California maximum, to my understanding, is 28. And the extra 10 students were placed on other education specialist caseloads while I was still providing a lot of the work for those students, because I came here because I care. And this is the district that raised me. And I wanted to make a difference and give back to the community that helped raise me to be the person I am today. Last year, I was without another teacher. They hired another person for it, and it was replaced with a sub and an open caseload position. The sub doesn't know all of these students very well, so it was up to me, who knew those students from the past year, to help support them and to give guidance and substitute, and to be able to provide goals, services, and collect data to help progress their IEPs. This year, we have a brand new teacher who's split between two schools. And as a person who was new not too long ago, I've been taking it upon myself to help and support him, because I know how frustrated I was in my first year and how this is really new and very overwhelming. He doesn't know the students as well as I do, again, so I'm helping him, showing him what I do and how I support the students and all of that. And I've been taking extra time in my data health, which I'm not upset about. I'm happy to do it because I want to retain teachers here in Yuba City Unified. But I'm also at maximum caseload. All of the teachers at Riverbend are at maximum caseload, and I know that we have 5 more. I have 5 more students that I'm assessing that may or may not qualify, probably leaning towards qualifying. So it's just a lot of work, and I would like to be fairly compensated for the students that are over the California maximum of students on the case. Thank you.
Casey Volker.
So I am not a teacher. I'm a parent with a child at Yuba City Unified School District. My child is a special needs student, and she benefits greatly, immensely, immeasurably from her teachers, from her educators. And if we want our students to have great educators, which of course we do, then we need to retain them. And if we don't give them what they need, if we don't give them enough support, they won't stay. And then where will we be? We need to support the teachers in the ways that they're asking for, which seem rather reasonable to me. I'm a bit of a layperson here. All I do is raise this kid most of the time, but I know she's a handful. And I know that she's a handful at school. And I know that this takes a lot of work from them and a lot of patience and a lot of grace. And it isn't just my kid, it's all the other ones that they have. So if they're asking for extra support, extra compensation, more teachers, more staff, whatever they need, whatever we need to retain our good educators, I can't think of anything more important for my family. Nothing makes more of a difference in my daughter's life than having good teachers, good educators, good people surrounding her. And that's what these people are. And we want them to stay. So if we want them to stay, we need to offer them support. So I hope you guys will listen to them, hear them well, and support them. Thank you.
Gina Artist.
Okay. Hi, my name is Gina Artist, and I'm a special education teacher at River Valley High School. This is my 25th year working for the district. I wanted to let you know a little bit about what the life of a high school special education teacher looks like. I have 26 students on my caseload and one initial that looks like they're going to qualify. 2 of my students attend YCIA, and so each week I have to find time to meet with them either in person or through Google Meet to check in and make sure they're making progress over there. During the school day, I provide and document services for 25 special education students, of which only 5 of them are actually mine and on my caseload. There are 19 students on my caseload right now that I do not see during the school day. I'm still expected to meet with those students and to be up to date on their academic progress. We'll have to find the time to meet with them at some point. As a high school special education teacher, we are also expected to co-teach when providing services in the general education setting. For co-teaching to be effective and work, both teachers in the classroom need to be seen as equal. This requires that we have time to meet and plan together at least a couple times a week. This becomes very challenging when most of us have more than one co-teaching assignment. In the fall, I co-taught with 3 different classrooms. I co-taught in 3 different classrooms with 3 different teachers for 2 different levels of math. My spring schedule, which started in January, has me teaching 1 period of learning strategies, which is a pull-out support class, and 2 periods where I'm co-teaching. So again, I have 3 different classrooms. I have 2 different co-teachers and 2 different levels of math. At the end of each period, I have to clean up, pack up, and move to the next classroom where I then need to check in with my co-teacher, set up, and be ready to teach when the bell rings. As a co-teacher, I take papers or tests home to grade. I handle discipline issues that arise in the classroom. I contact parents for any of the students in the room when need be. I've also attended parent-teacher conferences, 504s, and SSTs for the Gen Ed students in the room because they see me as their teacher too. My prep period comes at the end of the day, and during my prep, I work on my triennial and initial assessments. The average assessment takes 3 to 4 prep periods to finish. Since December, I've had 3 of them, and currently I'm working on 1 more. And then remember those 19 students that I don't see during the day? I have to find time to meet with them or to at least contact their teachers. I document services for the 25 students that I do see via service tracker. And then I write assessment reports or IEPs for meetings that I have coming up. And oh yeah, I have to handle anything else that came up during the day, like phone calls, emails, or that immediate emergency that needs my attention. The last thing I wanted to mention is IEP meetings. As of today, I've had 22 meetings for the students on my caseload, but 10 of my students still have not had their annual review. Most of my meetings don't start until 3:40. Do you want me to finish? Because I know the timer's on. Is it going? Okay. So, Most of my meetings don't start until 3:40, which means I don't leave River Valley until between 5 or 5:30 in the evening on nights I have IEP. And then despite how hard I try, I still take work home most nights of the week just to stay afloat. The demands of our job have just become increasingly more time consuming with an increased focus on legal compliance. And I realize that what I said is mostly about what my day looks like, but I'm not the exception. As someone said earlier, this is the norm and we're all overwhelmed. We all need more time and we all need more help. Thank you.
Okay, I might not be able to read this last name, but I think it's Jenna Price. I'm so sorry if I murdered it.
Hi, my name is Gina Kripe. I'm from Gray Avenue. I'm a education specialist there. The course of my day starts with lots of IEPs pretty much every single morning for the past, since we started almost in August. We started over at Gray Avenue with a 2-week substitute. We had only 2, it was me and Sheridan Hartman as well. We were the only 2 that were there, other than Michael Henneberry, who is our SDC teacher. We had a substitute for 2 weeks, and then it was basically us trying to manage another full caseload. I'm currently at 32 on my caseload. I have a couple more that are pending initial. So, and it's looking like, they are going to possibly be also part of an IEP. We're struggling with trying to find time. Time is one of the biggest things that we're missing. We need more supports in our school, which, could also include para support. A lot of our, co-teachers, because again, we're co-teaching as well. We have classes that have 16 students with IEPs out of 31. That is absolutely crazy to have that many students with IEPs in one classroom. We're just looking for time and support. That's honestly what we really, really, truly need. Thank you.
Melissa Inatun. Melissa Inatun. Matun, I'm so sorry. There's the I in the My apologies.
Good evening. I'm pretty much gonna repeat what everybody else has come up here and told you, and I'm sure what everybody else is gonna come up here and say. My name is Melissa Mattoon. I have 2 children in our school district, and I was raised in our school district, so I have a lot of pride in the school district. In my time as a parent in this district over the last 6 years, I have met some incredible teachers who, despite being under-supported and overworked, kill themselves for our kids. I can't tell you how many times I have apologized to the staff for my son. And to be honest, my son's not that bad. I've seen a lot harder to handle, and I still feel horrible. I can't imagine parents who work 2 jobs. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I know other families who have 2 parents at work and cannot answer the phone. They can't come catch their kid or give the support to the staff that they need. And really, that's what they're asking for, and that's what they need is staff. As I said, my son is one of the students that requires a little extra work, and despite all of our hard work, he was falling through the cracks. He's in 2nd grade, and I worked with him for hours every day after school to keep him caught up, despite having a one-on-one and an IEP and a full staff, a battery of people at April Lane to help him, who were all incredible. The teachers, the principal, everybody. And I think we can all agree that the children are our priority, and they deserve the very best that we can provide. But we're currently falling very short of that goal. Our teachers are violently under-supported and overworked. Things are getting missed, and our children are paying the price. Until January, when he transferred into his current SDC miscellaneous class over at King Avenue, I know his educational needs were not being met at all, even with me, because I'm not a teacher. They rock. I don't. Clearly, I learned that during COVID. I also know that there are other students in his class that were falling behind because his teachers were working with him just to keep him in his seat and not be a danger outside of the classroom, like hopping fences, which is one of his favorite things to do. But the other students in his class weren't learning because the teachers and staff were working with him and not with them. And that's not fair either. This is not to the fault of our teachers or the staff. This is the fault with our current system because something at some point has changed. The kids now are not who they used to be. That's the reality. When I was a little kid, I would never have considered doing half the things I see like 60% of the students doing. They need help, and it's our job to help them. Thank you.
Liz Saunders.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Liz Saunders, and I'm also from River Valley High School Special Ed. And I just wanted to share how my job has changed over the years, the changes I've seen. This is actually my 26th year with Yuba City Unified. And I worked 8 years prior at a non-public school. So that's a total of 34 years for me in special ed, and I love it. I've never, ever wanted to do anything else. But I have to admit that the job has changed a lot. The focus used to be more on case carrying and knowing our students. And there was time to do that and to do it well. But now the focus really has shifted to all the legal documentation, and other people have mentioned that. And sadly, that's where most of our time and our training is spent. Assessments have increased, not just our caseload reassessments, but there's been such an increase in initial assessments that don't even count on our caseload. Despite the testing and scoring and report writing, they don't count on our caseload. And if they do finally qualify, then we're developing an IEP and we're attending an IEP meeting for them. Some of these assessments even come from private schools within our area, which requires us to go assess often at their site. So we're now required to set up online service tracking and document every day, even when we're absent, and to assist the parents with their tracking. We're required to document and report on all student IEP goals quarterly. Every year we meet with 8th grade to plan student transitions. In fact, that happens next week. And we work with counseling to do that. We develop all the IEP student schedules. And then when the semester starts, and at River Valley, we go through this twice because we start a brand new semester in January. So when that semester starts, we're required to check all those schedules for compliance, make any changes needed, and communicate to general ed. Our caseloads mean annual IEPs, program reviews, staffings. We even case carry YCIA students as well. We do all this while teaching our own classes and co-teaching with Gen Ed. Just co-teach can mean co-lesson planning, instruction, grading, support. In fact, my co-teacher came to support us tonight. My co-teacher in math, yeah. That was a nice surprise. So I come to work every day by 7:15, she can attest to it, by 7:15, just so we can find some time to coordinate. It's all increased at a maddening pace, and I think to the point where case carry and documentation could actually be 2 different full-time jobs. I'm concerned that despite my coming in early every day, working through breaks and lunch, remaining after school, often working on my Sundays, I still can't always keep up. Even as a veteran teacher, I can't always keep up. I don't believe any of us went into special ed to complete paperwork. I think we did it because we all love working with the students. But I do worry about us moving forward. I worry about overwhelming our new teachers, and I worry about whether there'll be interested teachers to take my place after I retire. Thank you for your time and understanding.
Hernandez.
Hi, everyone. Okay, a little nervous. I am a parent for my student. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I'm nervous. I'm a parent of a student that attends King Avenue. This is many firsts for both he and I. Right.
You're doing fine.
Sorry, this is
Okay,
very,
don't worry.
Okay.
We haven't hurt anybody yet.
but due to my son's needs and education, we had to move him to different schools. To different schools to better his education so he could receive. Thank you. So he could receive his needs. And while he's been attending King Avenue School for the last 2 years, we have seen such an improvement in his work, his ability, his communications, and being able to engage with his peers. This is all thanks to his teachers. They've had the patience for him to work with him. As of his last IEP, he's now being met to being pushed out, where 2 years ago, he was crawling under the tables, walking out of class, not paying attention, but because of his teachers, he's been having that help. And to me, this is all new. I never knew how to understand my son, and knowing that he needed the help when I sat in his classroom, it was a big shock to me to know that my son had fallen through those cracks. And entering the special ed department classroom, I bursted into tears, knowing that my son needed to be in that classroom to be successful, to be able to be where he is at today. The teachers, they deserve the help, the extra help, because they have the patience to work with kids like them, like my son, to help him in his needs, to help educate myself, and helping him while they have him for 8, 7 hours, however many hours. They go above and beyond. They are excellent, and they're leaving. And if they continue to leave, we won't have that bond that they have. They carry that bond here and when they grow up. So I ask you guys for support to help them support. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and move on to consent agenda. Can I get a motion of additional questions?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
And Cam,
A motion by member Pretty, second by member Susi. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. 14A, non-reelection of certificated, probationary certificated employees.
Thank you. So under education code, we're bringing forward 2 individuals that we are recommending non-reelection.
Can I get a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion by member Quilty, second by member Lamb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carries. B, expulsion, suspended contracts, and readmission case.
I move that we move forward in the way we discussed in closed session.
Second the motion.
Okay, on a motion by member Pretty, second by member Quilty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. C, approval of proposal for RBHS gym
mechanical, which is basically air conditioning units, HVAC units. So this is just part of our normal process of replacing equipment that is end of useful life. These units are over 20 years old. It's within the budget, it's planned, and so we went out to bid, and we're recommending the lowest bid, which is Hometown Construction, for approval.
Any questions?
Yeah. What is the perceived benefit? Just more, it's going to be more efficient. I mean, listen, just because something's old doesn't mean it's bad. I'm asking, is that you said it's at the end of its useful life, so they no longer function.
So they are, they're reduced efficiency, they are starting to fail, and yeah, it's time to replace them.
Okay, that's all.
Too many Band-Aids.
Way too many Band-Aids. Put way too much money into old units. Yes, that is. Well, for mechanical uses, it's a little different.
Make a motion if there's no other questions.
I move that we approve.
Second.
Motion by member Fruity, second by member Lamb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. The MOU between Sutter County and YCSD for expanded learning support.
We're seeking to work with Sutter County Superintendent of Schools and their expanded learning program. We're currently short-staffed in our department for expanded learning. One of our coordinators is currently out, been out most of the year. And so we're seeking a semester-long support that ends June 30th, 2025. We currently have a position posted to fill that position for next year.
Is there, I'm sorry. Okay. Is there something else besides summer school that's expanded learning?
Yeah, so we just had our February intersession. So we had 3 days. We had Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We had 3 school sites we did intersession for. We have April intersession coming up. April. We have definitely summer school is the biggest one. And then we have every day, Monday through Friday, after school programs at all of our K, other than a few sites, all of our sites are K sites.
Okay.
So it's a very robust program. And we're actually seeking to expand it more, get more kids in the after school program.
And we have contractors as well.
Yeah, so we have
vendors.
Yeah, so the after school program is about academics, enrichment, activities for kids after school. So we currently work with you guys and we work with Lebo. So that's one of the main contractors we work with for after school. We also have a humongous classified staff that support us. We all have coordinators that are classified staff. So we're continuing to hire educators to work with our students. It's a really big program scope size. So Sutter County can work alongside us in helping expand that and giving us support this semester.
Thank you. All right, any other questions? Any other motion?
I move that we approve.
Second. Motion by member Fruity, second by member Lamb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. E, first reading for proposed revisions to board policy, administrative regulations, board bylaws and exhibits.
You so I bring forward another set of policies. In this packet of policies, you'll notice there are several places where there's options. Most of the options, unless noted, are options that currently exist within our policy, so I didn't change the option. And so I just wanted to call that to your attention as to why and why the options have been selected. You will see that in some cases it might be a new law and we didn't have it, and so the recommendation is to use what the CSBA's recommendation. But again, the options are have been, when we cross-referenced, are ones that currently exist in our current policies. So this is first reading. We'll have for second approval at the next board meeting.
Any questions?
Yes, but I'll let anybody else ask questions go first. I'm the only one with questions.
Where's yours?
All right. So my questions are all going to be from the actual text and not the index.
Okay, but can you reference the board policy the index, and then I'll go to the pages.
Okay, so and I can also tell you what page number within the policy packet.
That'll be perfect.
All right, so my first question is on page 1, which is policy 0420.41. This is the charter school oversight. Yes. Okay, so with regards to this, when you go down to of course, the board shall monitor the fiscal condition. You've got the monitoring of charter school performance. And then you have the waiver, which is on page 1, second to bottom paragraph. It's a charter school which is to request a general waiver of any state law or regulation applicable to it. It shall request that, and this is the addition, the board approve and the district submit a general waiver to the State Board of Education. My question here is that, doesn't every charter school have their own board?
Correct, but you're the oversight, so the
Right.
chartering agency, and so in order to move forward with certain things by law, they have to come to us to make those requests for waivers, because it would be outside the charter petition.
I understand that, but what was added was that the board approved. Previously, it shall request that the district submit a general waiver. So, right? So we've added another step. Because to me, the district is like, they go to the DO, like their board decided it. And then they're like, okay, well, we voted, we said yes, so can you do that? But now they come to us too, is that correct?
Correct, so the new language is that they always have to come to the district to request a waiver because it's outside of the charter petition. So in order to make that, you have to agree that you want to approve the waiver to go to CDE for approval.
Which we didn't have to before.
No,
Because this is added.
That's adding, the what's added is the underlying, the board approve and the.
Yes.
Correct, but the district always did have to approve that.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Is my question understandable?
It is now, I get it.
Like the board, they have it, okay. Okay, on the next page. Under material revisions to charter. Is the paragraph, page 2. Paragraph 4 under that. The board may deny a proposed material revision if it finds that the proposed material revision would render the charter school demonstrably unlikely to serve the interests of the entire community. I should be in radio, I know, I get it, it's really good, don't fall asleep, sorry. Material revision, are you talking, having read the rest of this, it sounds like construction, is that what you're talking about?
No, so that is the charter petition, and then if there's something of substance that is being requested to be revised in the charter petition, the board has the right to deny that. So it's specifically about the charter, the previous charter petition that the board approved. If there's something of substance that is going to change the actual petition, then the board has the right to deny.
Oh, okay, so material revision is kind of vague. It's just saying something vague.
Correct.
But it's not defined.
Like a material revision could be that, so for example, the charter I work at, they're 5 through 12. If I wanted to change it to take 5th grade out, or if I wanted to add 4th grade in, that's a material revision and I would need to go to.
But who defines what material revision is?
It's whatever's not in the charter.
So there's a definition in charter petitions regarding material revision. So there is a definition in the charter language. And so it's not, and I can't think of something that would be not.
So like I apply for a charter, I'm granted it, but in my charter, I'm like, hey, we're gonna be uniform and it's gonna be gray and red. And then I'm like, never mind, it's blue and black.
Right.
Because that would not be a material revision.
Because the color doesn't impact the educational program, but it is expanding grade levels. It's running an independent study program that they didn't operate before. It's required, so it's any of those types of things regarding the educational component to the program.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and okay, page, let's see, okay. So sorry.
No, that's okay.
All right.
I think they may be numbered differently as well.
Yeah, well, and just want to put in an I miss Granicus moment here. Like, the way to go to my notes is so much different. Okay, moving on to charter school oversight. 0420.41-E1. Somebody took all the time to write that. I'm going to take the time to say it. Page 8, under non-discrimination. Okay, so when I look at point number 15, previous point number 14, do I think, are you mopping what I'm spilling?
Yeah.
Okay. It talks about don't discriminate against any student on the basis of the characteristics listed in Ed Code 220. The old number 15, new number 16, which has been added, I believe, says not discriminate in the use, selection, or rejection of textbooks, instructional materials, library books, or similar educational resources. Okay, so is that the same kind of discriminate? Or what? Because that seems a little vague. What does that mean?
So that the textbooks, the instructional materials that are decided upon can't be decided upon some thing defined in the ed code. So you can't, because you don't like something that's contrary to something. But it's listed in the education codes, and I can get those for you in terms of what you can and what you cannot discriminate based upon. And so those are listed, and that's the same thing would be is those things are applied to instructional materials as well.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's not, for example, everybody has a particular, like, oh, I really like this textbook, or I really, having taught from the Institute for Excellence in Writing, I really love it. But then if I get the law schools of writing, I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the way they present the material. I prefer this. That's not the discriminating we're talking about. I want to make sure.
That is not what you.
But I don't like the law schools of writing. I see it has benefits, but
right,
I really like IEW.
That's not what's being described in here. So I'm going to use one that's probably going to be, I'm sure it's in there. So ethnicity. So there's a book about certain ethnic group, and you want to now eliminate it from your library because you don't like the fact that it's talking about a certain group of people. That's what they're talking about here.
Okay, but it's educational appropriate materials.
Correct.
Like educational level grade, like that's, yes. But we're not talking about like, hey, by the way, charter schools, you can't say you prefer this book and not this book. Because that's also a definition of discriminating, like to have
yes, that's not what it's
taste.
referencing. It's referencing the discriminating based upon what's listed, and then I use ethnicity as one because I know that's one that's listed.
Okay. And okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
And then is it the same one? Sorry, Granicus. Oh man. It's Granicus, because I can't. You go to my notes and it's just gonna pop down to the notes. I think it's the same.
Okay.
I think it's the same thing. But it's under nutrition, number 65, page 13. And previously, charter schools were required to provide a nutritional adequate breakfast and or lunch, right? Free of charge every day during each school day. Okay, so now the new change has been to provide a nutritionally adequate breakfast, and so we dropped the or and we added nutritionally adequate. As defined by Ed Code 49501.5, you have a list of like what nutritionally adequate means. Well, and the fact that we've got to also do lunch, right? Mm-hmm. Or charter schools have to do that. And then I guess this is a question. Well, first of all, so that's outlined in the Ed Code, what nutritionally adequate means?
Correct, because there are certain state and federal guidelines that we're required to follow nutritional guidelines, and what this is saying is the charter needs to follow the same guidelines established for public school districts.
I got you. Okay, page 15, same policy. Mm-hmm. Point number 78. Actually, wrong, 77. And that is
about recess?
Yes. So the denial of recess prohibits the denial of recess to a student unless the student's participation poses an immediate threat to the student's physical safety. I just want to make sure this is our requirement, or this is the requirement for charter schools. I just want to make sure we're also are we also on the same standard?
This is a new law for all public schools, so you can't withdraw recess unless under these conditions.
Thank you. Number 81. Until June 30th, 2029, neither recommend for expulsion nor suspend a student in grades K through 12 for disrupting school activities or otherwise willfully denying the authority of school personnel in the performance of their duties.
So that's a new education code, and that requires, so it's in place until June of 2029. And so you can no longer suspend or expel for disruption in compliance. for only those reasons. So a student would have to have committed another offense, but you can't suspend any longer and expel for disruption and defiance.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and I believe the next one is on page 25, but it is the superintendent's contract. Okay, policy 2121.
Let me look at my matrix, because yours are. Well, ask your question, I'll get to you to get to the location.
Okay, this is all about terminating the superintendent without cause. But okay, so I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. So this ed code is saying you cannot terminate a superintendent without cause at a special emergency meeting of the board, period. But I just want to make sure I understand this. The board shall not take action to terminate the superintendent without cause or within 30 days after the first convening of the board after an election at which one or more of the members are elected or recalled. So we can't, a board cannot terminate a superintendent within 30 days of first reconvening after an election wherein a new board member is. Okay, the real question is, however, the board may take action to terminate the superintendent without cause at a regular meeting during any month. And here's my problem, in which a regular meeting of the board is not scheduled.
I'm trying to find a page.
Sorry,
it's the very last.
Page 25.
It says 25, it's the last, it's the last sentence of that policy. I don't understand that. So we would have to pick a month wherein we don't have a regular meeting, which is none of them, because we have a regular meeting in all of them. So.
But not all boards do that. So remember, this policy applies to boards that might not have meetings.
But this is our policy.
Yes. Correct.
This isn't California, this is.
No, but you could also change your board meetings too. So that may be language that if you choose not to, but I believe it's an education code, so I need to check that. So I can check that one for you to determine.
I understand it's ed code, but this is our policy. But the question I would have is just that the wording of this says that would mean that the way that we conduct our board meetings, should we ever get a superintendent in that we wish to terminate, we would never be able to initiate those practices because we have a regular meeting in every month. That's what it says to me.
Okay, and that's what I'll clarify, because the intent is, what it's saying is that a board newly seated cannot act within our termination of a superintendent.
Totally understand that.
The other thing is you can't do it in secret, so you can't have a special meeting.
Right.
So it has to happen at a regularly scheduled board meeting.
It's this one.
Yes.
But it's
So I think that it's the final few words that are confusing, so let me clarify on that one.
in which a regular meeting. So, I mean, I parsed the whole thing. I'm like, I still don't understand. That doesn't really make a lot of effect or sense to me.
Yep.
And then, okay. Okay. And then I'm on page 58, regulation 4161.2, 4261.2, 4361.2, personal leaves. On the bottom of page 58 is the reproductive loss, the new edition of the reproductive loss leave, which is fine. On page 59, okay, again, I'm just looking at the red stuff, but on page 59, at the bottom of that section is saying any request and inquiry or information provided by an employee related to a reproductive loss, leave and or reproductive loss shall remain confidential. Okay, so obviously any doctor's note or information that we receive absolutely is confidential. However, when I look at this, I don't see a place where it's there is that part of the policy where when you are requesting leave, right? Like with students, they're out, they get a doctor's note. When there has been a reproductive loss, is there also worked into that policy, like via a doctor's note, et cetera?
So normally with any type of medical leave, there is a doctor's note that's required in order for us to grant the leave.
Okay.
So I think that's probably assumed because we can't act on a medical leave without a doctor's note.
Okay, I just didn't see that anywhere in the policy, and it could have been me. In fact, I will die on the hill, that is probably me. But I just wanted to make sure that that would be the same. Thank you. Okay. And then moving on to policy number 6,000, page 101. There's only 131 pages, y'all. I'm almost done.
You're fine.
Concepts and roles. In case I am, when it comes to policies and it comes to things that kind of outlive us in a way because they're written in black and white, I don't like things that are vague. I don't think they serve either party. I like things written out. So that's why when I see something, I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? Is why I ask it. And that is the case in policy number 6,000, where it begins with the governing board desires to provide a comprehensive research-based curriculum. And then if I took out the red marks, we just have said that motivates every student to succeed. And now we have in a supportive, positive, and engaging manner that motivates every student to succeed. Not that I don't like those words. I like positive and supportive and engaging. I love that. However, I guess my question is, when we add that at the top of the policy, I guess my question is, why do we add it?
Well, I think part of it is just the nature of wanting to, I think that's the conversation about making sure that what we do is engaging and that, but again, it's not necessary. There's no education code related to it. If the board chooses to eliminate that language, that is up to you all.
So like if I walk into a classroom and I see a teacher that has like a whole bunch of kids on their Chromebooks, there's no engagement, there's no active learning, that's where my head goes. And I go, well, yeah, I like the engagement too. Can I now then therefore say this is against policy, nobody's engaged? And I get, they've got to be do I ready. I totally understand that. And just, that's my question.
Again, the language is there. I don't know that anyone would dispute that that's what we would like to see in our classrooms, but if it's not the desire of the board to have that defining language in there, it's up to you, because it's not related to an education code. There's no requirement to have those words included, and so if you choose not to have those words, you can.
So what is the process whereby?
I was just gonna say, I think they're just helpful to understand what we're looking for. A research-based curriculum could be just about anything. I think the supportive, positive, and engaging manner just kind of gives a little bit of extra guidelines as to what we're looking for.
Okay, which again, I like that. I mean, I like all of that. I just wonder what the byproduct is in putting it in policy in our culture. And like policy, I just, in the example wherein I saw that. The other thing is like, positive doesn't always mean the best, right? When somebody is doing something negative, I gotta be like, that's not cool. I don't know.
So again, language is added, and so this was language added by CSB and recommended. Staff reviews it. Staff did not see that it was objectionable, that it wasn't necessary, so they recommended that it be left in there. But again, that's why the board has an opportunity, unless it's an education code, and it's just added language to clarify, to enhance, that's what is likely here. But there's no reason if the board chooses not to have the language that you have to keep the language in. So that's why this is a first read. At the second read, if you'd like to recommend that the language be deleted, you certainly can. And
so when you say the staff, so CSPA comes and they're like, hey, all of our experts looked at this, they looked at the laws, and here are our recommendations. And then who is the staff that puts that in their hands?
So this is the 6,000, so likely Tino reviews that, I looked at it, and so that's who, so when the policies come in, if it's a business related, it goes to Scott, and to, could be Mark Button, it goes to his department, nutrition goes to Chelsea.
Okay, depending on who it is.
And then, but all student related, curriculum related would go through Tino's.
And then is it denoted, like this change is paramount, this change is fun fluff, and this is like.
Well, I don't think it, so. No,
fun fluff, that was not right.
That
I
is
didn't
not
do
how the
that.
policies
but-
come in, so there, it comes in exactly how you see it, it's underlined, it's for us to review. And then staff reviews it, if there's nothing objectionable or it doesn't, it's not in alignment with district practices, it moves forward. But again, it's the, unless it's an education code or a law, the board can make modifications to the language if they so choose.
So to that end, I guess my question is with the next sentence. The district's educational program shall provide students with rigorous opportunities, love rigorous adjective, that was great. To attain the academic, social, emotional skills, knowledge, and abilities they need to be successful in school, post-secondary, and or deployment. My question is with the social, emotional skills, because that could be argued that is under abilities, right? So you have academic skills, to attain the academic. Ooh, that's an adjective. What is it modifying?
Skills.
No, because there's a comma after academic.
Well, but sometimes, I know, but sometimes.
Oh, I see. It's a multiple
academic, comma,
and
social, comma, but they didn't put a comma there. And emotional skills, so it's skills.
And then you have knowledge and abilities. They need to be successful in school.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the social emotional push. I get that. However, I feel like primarily we're academic. That's our job. The social emotional is a component of that. But when we put it in there, it makes it on par with academics, and it's not. It's a part. It's the ability. Where am I getting this wrong?
Our first board goal is academic, social, and social support, and so it aligns with our board goals. So we have board goal 1 is that specific one we developed as a board. So I felt like it fit in with the board goals.
Okay, I get it now. I'm with you. It's Granicus. It's not Granicus.
I was gonna say, I don't think
I
it's
miss
Granicus.
Granicus. I feel like, okay. Okay. My next question is policy 6164.2 guidance and counseling services.
Page number?
And it will be page number 105. Yes, there it is. 105, the red underline on page 1 under the paragraph that is red underline. To enhance the educational and counseling program and assist students in reaching their educational and professional goals, the district shall provide students in grades 9 through 12 with financial aid, support, social services support, state-funded immigration legal services, academic opportunities, and parent, guardian, and family workshops. So my question is twofold there. Provide them with financial aid support makes it sound like, I know what financial aid is, but when you're doing support, it almost makes it sound like we're paying them as opposed to.
I think what this is referencing in a high school situation is when our counselors go in and help kids figure out how to fill out
The
a FAFSA.
Totally.
Because it can be completely crazy for kids who don't know how to do it. And if their parents aren't familiar, that's what it means.
But then it would read financial aid application support.
So I think and I see what you're saying, because it does look like we could be providing the financial aid. So I want to.
Okay.
Grammar.
Well, it's.
I know you, but you know.
Right.
I mean, I remember financial aid. I totally remember that. The other question I have is with regards to the state funded immigration legal services. Where would we be involved in that as an education system?
Yeah, that one I just got to, Kirsten, that I'm questioning that one as well. So we'll go back and look at this policy and specifically look at the language. There's an ed coach citing, so I need to find out. And Tino, I don't know, maybe you, because this is.
But you already looked at that. So what is that talking about?
Yeah, I gotta get back to that specific.
Okay.
So we'll look at that one.
Okay, so the other, question I have, I just would like to acknowledge maybe I'm being, I don't know, I guess ignorant with this question, but it's on the same page, 105.
Okay.
But this struck me. It's the paragraph that just begins additionally instead of in addition. Additionally, counselors shall affirmatively explore with the student the possibility of careers or courses leading to careers that are non-traditional for that student's sex. And I sat with that for a while, and I know this is ed code. I guess I'm just curious, like what that would be.
You have an example?
Yeah, I would say an example would be there's a pretty big push the last 6 years on engineering for women. It's traditionally underrepresented for females at your colleges and at the workforce, and so they push for more. That would be just one example.
Okay.
And computer science.
Well, with the way this is worded, though, it's saying that are non-traditional for that student's sex, as opposed to underrepresented for that student.
I was just thinking too of careers like plumbing or construction. And more and more women are going into welding, electrician welding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I understand that they're not, maybe they don't tend to go into that. I just was like, but okay. But that makes, I understand now. I get it. I was just like, and then, my other, page 106, on personal or mental health counseling.
The only thing new there is the ed code correction.
Right. I didn't, but my question was actually just more procedural. As I was reading this, I just wanted to clarify on the bottom of page 106, where it says any information of a personal nature disclosed to a school counselor by a student aged 12 years or older, or by the student's parents, guardian, is confidential and shall not be part of the student record without the written consent of the person who disclosed the confidential information. And I just wanted to know what our process was on that.
Yes, so depending on the student's age, there is law that prevents providers from reporting. So for a child under the age of 12, yeah, definitely is clear. So this is outlining what the education and the law requires.
Okay. And then that. Sorry. Is it? Thank you.
Okay, and the only other thing I wanted to call your attention to is under the exhibit 1113, new district and school websites. I put that on hold, and the reason why is because of the changes back on Title IX regulations back to the 2020. This was drafted before all that occurred, so I need to go back and revise the exhibits because they are not in alignment with the 2020 Title IX regs. So I just wanted to explain why those exhibits were pulled. Okay, and I think I flagged everything. If there are other questions regarding the policies prior to the board meeting, just let me know.
And we will research them.
Thank you. Board reports, information, discussion.
Here. Fun stuff. So I was there 2 weeks ago, going through their LCAP, the LCAP. The map testing is looking good. Their February Thames was strong, just over 96%. Our cultural race are implementing a new safety plan. They have a new look for fire safety and evacuation safety. They've gotten down to under 3 minutes. And they have gone through their audits, their $8 million yearly budget. They've grown from a 40-item budget request or item request to over 108. And there's no findings. Some of the stuff in a nutshell.
We met as a government lead for the government liaison meeting. And they just talked about some new things that are happening throughout the district. And we talked a little bit about the impact with us putting our solar shading structures and stuff on different campuses, and that's probably gonna be a little bit tight, but they're gonna work around our hours and stuff, so it won't impact especially drop off and pick-up times at the end of the day. So they're gonna try their best, but yeah, there's like some new subdivisions that are in the works right now with in South Yuba City as well. So just looking at that and just some of the impacts to the schools. Anything else you want to add? Okay, written communications from the public. I don't think there are any. Thank you, Ms. Laura. Employee representative.
Good evening, board members, staff, and anybody in the audience. I'm Vera Lukens, president of the Yuba City Teachers Association. And I'll try and be brief this evening. On Thursday of this week, we'll be in negotiations with the district again. I want to remind you that our contract expired in June 2024, so we look forward to timely and productive negotiations in hopes of having a new printed contract before the end of the school year. YCTA will bring forth proposals to address safety, hours, class size, as well as compensation. We'll also bring forth some questions to better understand the district's budget. I'd like to thank you for your time tonight as you listened to our special education teachers. You previously listened to our speech and language pathologists. Our goal has been to help the board understand the parameters of our jobs, the changing nature of the work we do with students. We are partners in educating the students of our community, and we look forward to continuing that work together as we all better understand the job requirements. With regard to those special education folks, part of what they addressed was the multiple impacts of the severe shortage of credentialed teachers and service providers such as SLPs. Currently, the district has at least one contracted SLP and at least 2 contracted special education teachers. In addition to that, 10% of the special education teachers currently employed by the district have emergency credentials. These have impacts on employees, these have impacts on students, impacts on services. We urge this district to work with YCTA to build a comprehensive package that allows the district to attract and retain the very best for our students. As you've begun to receive the retirement notices, March 1st is our deadline to notify. If we qualify for retirement incentives, so far you've received the retirement notice of one special education teacher who's been with the district for more than 20 years. And you will receive other retirements from speech and language pathologists and special education teachers. In these times, those retirements have particularly significant impacts on our students and our ability to deliver services. So I thank you for your time this evening. I thank you for your willingness to listen to those folks. I think they did a wonderful job of telling you how the job has changed And it really has, the legal compliance piece has become so large. And as a teacher, I can tell you the part of the job I hated the most was grading papers. I love to work with kids. Those folks have grading papers into multiple hours and are legally required to do so. I chose to have my kids write long-winded responses and read all those responses and give them feedback because I loved helping them grow. But the legal compliance for special education is not a matter of choice. It's a matter of must do. So we look forward to working with you to address those issues. Thank you.
Good evening, board, staff, audience. I want to start off by saying that, you know, we recognized a bus driver. We had special education teachers here, and I had 5 e-board members here. So Raquel's outside kind of watching Zach, who belongs up here, but he's doing great. So I really appreciate that. So I want to talk about a few things. First, I'm going to piggyback off of our special education teachers and what impact that has to parent educators. Because when we have a long-term sub in a classroom, that puts more work on the parent educator. We have a lot of parent educators that are out right now due to injury at work. Because as one of the parents said before, these kids are not the kids we saw before. We have new issues, we have new behaviors, and sometimes they can be dangerous if we don't have properly trained staff and enough staff in the classrooms. As the teachers are doing more of their administrative work, that puts a greater impact on the paras and in watching those. There are also, especially in the special education classes, when we have the TK SDCs and that sort of thing, these kids do not come potty trained. So we have paras that are changing diapers and changing clothes and that sort of thing on a regular basis, taking them out of the classroom, making that classroom increasingly more dangerous to the staff that's left in there. So the need is real for more staff in these classrooms, not only on the teacher side, but on the parent side, is to keep our kids safe, to keep our staff safe, because we have staff that are pump, and many of them end up on the 39-month rehire list, which means that they have been out for over 100 days. Over 100 days on an injury that should have been preventable if the proper staff and the proper training is in there. Our paras do not always get training. I know, I appreciate that the district is support sending people to the para-educator conference every year, but we need to do a better job also getting those new paras trained. They don't know what they're getting into. We hire them, we fill out the paperwork, and we throw them in a classroom, and they have no clue what's going on. They don't know what their job is, what their role is, how they interact with the ed specialist in there or the general education teacher, because they're pushing into a classroom. So we need to do a better job, because our students deserve to have trained staff all over the, whether classified or certificated. So I do appreciate those teachers coming here. Liz and Gina I've worked with for 23 years, so you know, it was kind of special seeing people here. We had another meeting of our job description task force this week. We seem to really be starting to really gel and on the same pages and working together. And not that we didn't, and we've always had a really great relationship in this task force. But it started out a little rocky. We all kind of didn't know quite how to do it. And we're learning together. And we feel that every time we meet, we become even more and more productive. And once we get through this first set of job descriptions, we think that the next ones will just be easy peasy, right? Because we've got our flow down. So I appreciate the district side and our side that we're working together. We will enter into negotiations again on Friday. So right after the teachers, don't take all of our money. Okay? Don't take our money. We need a little bit too. And just for the record, those lunches that the charter schools get, we provide those. Our cafeteria workers cook that food and transport it to those schools and to many other little small satellite schools in the area. New Westro, Twin Rivers. I'm missing some of them, but we are out there feeding those kids out of our kitchens. So a lot of proud work to be done out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments from board members?
Yeah, I have a question about some of the things that were said tonight with regards to special ed. I wrote a lot of notes and a lot of questions, probably because I don't know, which is not a surprise. So my question is, to go forward with that, is there, I mean, I know I can email and I can ask or sit with you. Is there any sort of like study as far, or a way to go forward as far as looking at what we can do to streamline, or if there's other things we haven't thought about, processes moving forward?
So I do think that there are some things have definitely changed. I mean, I started in special education a long time ago, and the requirements have changed. And so the things that are being asked in terms of the legal requirements are true. And I think that that's one of the conversations Stina and I had today in terms of the discussion of, what is it that, because I have heard varying things tonight in terms of what it might be that we can do in terms of added support to our staff to provide them. And so the reality is that our special education staff are required to test, serve, hold meetings, and so it is a lot. So I think that's the conversation that I spoke to Dina about is what is it really that, and I think we need to talk to each of the providers because I heard different things in terms of how they might feel supported. So what is it that we can do to try to help alleviate? And I don't know that it's just the special ed teachers. I think it's the special ed teachers. I think it's the speech and language pathologists. It's our school psychologists. It's our nurses. It is everyone right now. There's so much to do, and everything keeps changing. And so how do we navigate that together to come up with solutions to help our staff serve our students? Because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And I get it. We got in the field to work with kids, and there's just so much. There's a lot of paperwork.
I've heard legal compliance several times, which there's nothing that warms the heart like that. No, that's it. But I guess I don't know. Having come from the corporate side, you want your people to do what they're good at that nobody else can do. And then you hire somebody to do the menial stuff that is clogging up their ability to do what only they can do. That's the mentality. I don't know if in this world, if that's possible, or if they are legally compliant to actually execute all of the paperwork, or if that's even part of the conversation. Again, this is just one of 15 questions I wrote down. So I didn't expect to get them all answered tonight. As much as you all love hearing my voice. My question was kind of moving forward, how and where to send those questions. Should I just email you?
Yeah, send me the questions, but I do, it's always good to hear from our staff. And so as they're chatting and sharing with us, I was taking my own notes and I've got who I want to talk to about certain things. So yeah, we will definitely send me your questions or, thoughts, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, so our students weren't here today, but something fun to report. We have the wrestling athletes. We have 3 students going to the state meet this coming week. I think they leave tomorrow. We have 2 students from Yuba-Sutter High School and a wrestler from River Valley. One of the exciting things is we have a female wrestler who took the section championship, and so she's moving on to state. And so the Yuba-Sutter High School did a parade for the kids, and so but that's pretty exciting to go to state. That is it is from across the state. They're congregating in Bakersfield for 3 days of wrestling, and so we've got 3 athletes who are going to represent our district and our schools very well. So that's very cool. The other thing is on Friday night, the CLUSA Yuba-Sutter Association of California Administrators are recognizing educators from those 3 counties. And our own Chris Renzillo from Albert Pell will be recognized that night. And as additionally, Albert Pell has been recognized as an officially model continuation high school and will be celebrated, I believe, in April at the Continuation High School Conference. So good things happen in Yuba City Unified. Yay. Yeah, yay.
Cool. All right, next board meeting is March 11th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
You've seen signs marking some of the gyms in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net.
In Marysville, where roots run deep, McNally Appliances promises to keep the best brands with a smile on its face. We service what we sell, it's a warm embrace. Competitive pricing you can't ignore. With every purchase, you'll love it more. From fridges to washers, all in a line. We install with care to make it shine. Major brands, trusted and true. McNally Appliances is here for you. Oh, Nally McNally, we're your first choice. In Marysville, we help you rejoice. We service what we sell, no need to stress. At McNally Appliances, we're simply the best. Our promise stands, we'll always be here. McNally Appliances, bringing your cheer.
McNally Appliances, 119 D Street, Marysville. McNallyAppliances.com.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright.
where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE, in the heart of our home. Be informed, be wise. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE, we capture it all. Policy debates, hear the people's call. With Yuba-Sutter.LIVE, you'll never miss a beat. Special reports hit hard, shining a spotlight. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through.